Hey, this is Dan Mina, and you're listening to the Blend and Bond podcast. Today we're talking about finding new sticks, cigar storage, and what do you lighten your cigars with? What's going on, guys? Dan Mina here. I'm with
Zeke.
Zeke. He called himself Zeke.
I have to.
I win.
No.
Cut. We're done here. We're done here.
What, if you can't beat them, join them, right?
I love it. I love it. What's going on, Zeke?
Not much, man.
Dude, I'm super excited to be doing this again. Kind of just really been counting the days till we can do it again. Because after that first one, we got a lot of good feedback. We felt good. Listeners told us that we had some good stuff. And, you know, it's day 2 or episode 2. It's February 22nd, Saturday morning.
Yes.
What's been going on since our last podcast?
I've been doing a lot of smoking lately. I'm not gonna hold you here. I've been trying to catch up to your count of your list.
Good luck.
Yeah, I know. I'm at a strong 67 right now.
I've eclipsed 90.
No matter how hard I try, I can't catch up.
Yeah. So what he's talking about is cigars smoked for this year. We're 22 days into February. I got about 90 cigars smoked. We've talked about this before. I average above average cigar numbers. I'm putting up Hall of Fame numbers up in here, you know.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah.
I'm just a sophomore. Definitely past rookie stage. You know, if I amass 3 in a day, I'm fighting battles here.
Yeah. Three days. That's definitely more than that. It gets a little rough, but I have days. Actually, I think 1, 2. I had a 4 cigar day yesterday.
Did you?
But I started early. I went to visit Neil at a local shop called, what's it called? Smoke Easy Lounge in Watertown. And met a friend Neil there. And there I smoked actually. Oh, I sent you a picture of it.
You
because,
did.
You know, I was like,
You did.
Zeke's going to be jealous about this.
You did.
Yeah. And that was the A.J. Fernandez 20th anniversary. And it was delicious. It was phenomenal. And I heard your tears through text, so that was cool.
You did. That was anger. That was the angry cry, though.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and then you responded because I told you, I think I'm just chilling today.
Yeah.
And I sent you that picture. He's like, what happened to chilling? I was like, what? This is exactly what chilling is.
Right.
You know?
Right. The only other thing you could have done worse than that was been sitting across from Nick Perdomo, getting the lowdown on something. You know what I mean? Then I'd have been like, you know what? We're done.
I would have called you.
This whole thing is over.
No, I would have called you. I would have called you for that. I'd be like, get down here right now.
I hope
Whatever
so.
I got to do I got to call your job and tell them there's an emergency? We need to get down here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the shameless plug does go to Nick Perdomo. We had a conversation this week, buddy. Hit me up.
That's awesome. Yeah, so then after Smoke Easy, I don't know why I keep forgetting their name, I went down to the Commissioners and played a few games of dominoes with the guys there. As soon as I walked through the door, they're like, your turn. I'm like, what the hell? Hi, you know? And ran off some wins, got a couple losses, though. I'm competitive, so I hate that. But, you know, it's all fun and games over there. I smoked a couple Ezras yesterday.
Okay.
And I smoked something else. I have a picture of it because I didn't get to write it in my log, so I just take a picture just so I don't forget.
Yep.
So I'll pull that up at some point. But what else? Did you smoke anything new?
Great question. I was blessed to have taken the trip down to a shop in Danbury, Connecticut called Buttheads. And I located a cigar that I haven't had since 2012. And for those of you who have not heard of it, the La Gloria Serie N was a deal, right? It was a real deal. Very, very good cigar. Actually, one of the first cigars I took a very keen liking to.
Yeah, you sent it to me, and I talked to you about it, and you were like, I found them, and you were talking like you had found like a long lost child. Like I found them.
Yeah,
They're here.
Listen, the that's real.
Yeah.
Okay, like the throwback, the memories of that time in life. It just, I went places when I smoked that cigar again.
Yeah,
I but needless to say, I found them. I bought his stock out. Well, not his stock out, but I bought quite a few.
Yeah. Good luck buying his stock out.
Yeah. But I did smoke that. I also picked up a couple of others, but I smoked a Feral that was given to me. Yeah.
Feral Flying Pig?
Yeah.
Feral Pig?
No. Yes.
Feral Pig,
The Feral Pig.
Liga 9 Feral Pig.
Yes.
Awesome stick.
That had been aged longer than I thought, because when I pulled that wrapper off, I mean, it was quite tinted.
Nice.
That was really awesome.
I'm going to pause you there because I got something on my mind.
Go ahead.
And, he brings these La Gloria Series N.
Uh-oh.
And you know this cigar because it's got a nice dark wrapper, but then in Connecticut shade on the wrapper, they put an N right on it, all right? And he grabbed them. He came in. You gave me a cigar or something.
Tatuaje.
You gave me a tatuaje. And it was funny because he gave me this tatuaje, and I'm looking at those Series N. He's got like a handful of them. And I'm like, wow, I never smoked one of those. And Zeke just gave me these. He just looked at me. Uh-huh.
What Dan doesn't know, what Dan doesn't know is that I have a special group of them just for he and I.
Oh, snap.
Because we're going to do them on a recording.
Okay.
We haven't talked about it yet.
Yeah.
But since you wanted to put me on blast.
I just knew the look. He was like, I just found my babies and you want them?
Well, and here's the deal. When you're in that setting, you'll start passing them out. And everybody,
Yeah.
So,
you
got to
totally
kind
get
of,
that.
I always pay my respects to the head honchos, gave one to, who did I give one to? I think I gave one to Joel.
It might have been Joel. Yeah, Joel knows this cigar as well. He's a big La Gloria fan. I remember that. Yep. So that maybe that's why I was butthurt at the time. I was like, Joel got one? No, I totally play it. But hey, today, let's talk about today's cigar.
Yeah.
Today's cigar is,
Dun, dun,
I have no idea. It's got no band on it. All right. We're going with our first mystery cigar. And part of the Blend and Bond experience is that we're going to be doing a lot of these mystery cigars and smoking something that we don't disclose what it is right away. It's going to be part of our monthly subscription as well. Eventually, when we get that going and this podcast is live, we're going to be revealing these cigars in live. So I do want to talk about it before I name it. First of all, this is a nice 6x52 Toro. The wrapper is a oily, nice, a little bumpy Corojo wrapper.
Bumpy, or what's the word we're looking for here?
Not veiny.
No, I
Trying to avoid that one, So
yeah, I don't blame you on that.
Yeah.
Toothy.
No,
Would you go with toothy?
No, toothy. I think more like a broadleaf where it's got
the little pimples and stuff.
Yeah, the teeth.
Okay.
So
All right.
Just not smooth, right?
No.
Not the smoothest.
No.
But still in great shape. This cigar, like I said, has a Corojo wrapper. It has a double binder of a Nicaraguan and Sumatra tobacco.
Yes.
Right? And the filler is a 4 tobacco blend from Dominican Republic, Honduras, Mexico, and Nicaragua. So we're talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 varieties of tobacco in this cigar.
That's a power punch.
Yeah. So I wonder, what it's going to be. Well, let's get to let's get to cutting and lighting.
Let's do
that.
that.
And we are live. Well, no, we're not live, but we are in front of a live studio audience.
We do have an audience today.
Yeah. Again, it's grown.
It is.
By 1. All right. 2.
What does the
baby
Bible
steps.
say? Where there's one or more in my name, there also shall I be. Let's go, folks.
Let's go with the cut and light. I'm going a straight cut with my perfect cut. I don't have to think about it. I don't got to look. Bang. We're good.
Me, on the other hand, I need instructions, a magnifying glass.
Totally missed the ashtray.
That's okay. But I still got a perfect cut. Hands of a surgeon.
Cold draw. Wow. I got mom's basement right away. Grandma's basement, sorry. Mom's basement's a little
Get it
cleaner.
right.
Yeah. Grandma's basement. Right away.
All of the we missed this the last time, but here it is now for the foot.
The foot. I'm gonna just wait till you're done here.
Don't mind me with my feet. Give me a second.
Yep. You know what? I'm uncomfortable, so I'm gonna go in light.
So.
Oh, did you not fill me up? No, you got me right.
Yeah. Actually.
Oh no, we're good.
Okay.
We're good.
On this foot,
one job. Fill the lighters.
To describe what I smell the foot, on this one, it's a little more like sugar cane, not so much fruity like a dark, not like plum or raisin or something you would normally smell, more like or of a brown sugar, but this is more like a sugar cane.
Okay.
More of a natural type sugar. And yes, very, very heavy presence of Grandma Ma's basement.
Mm-hmm.
That nice, musty.
Damp earth.
Damp, yeah. Yep.
So if you're not familiar with Grandma's basement, we'll just call it earthy for you guys, but, get with the lingo. It's been 2 episodes, what the heck?
All right, figure it out. And,
wow.
Yeah.
My first draw was a blast of coffee. Great cedar right off the rip on the retro. Phenomenal flavor so far. So this stick is actually something you put me onto.
It is.
It was a new stick to me at that time.
Mm-hmm.
You had smoked it first, and you said, dude, you got to try this stick. And you told me what it was, and I was like, what the hell is that? I never even heard of that.
Bro, neither had I.
Well, but I smoked it, and I thought the same thing. So I was like, this is going to be a perfect mystery cigar. It's smoking like it would be a $14, $15 cigar.
I was just going to say, it definitely smokes like a big name rolled it. Mm-hmm. Someone who is very careful to not like overcrowd a cigar where you can actually just enjoy it, get a good pull.
And it's got all those tobaccos in it.
It does. And that's the craziest part.
Yeah, it's great. Construction right now is great.
Yep.
Big waves of flavor immediately.
Very light ash, very light in color. It's not a dark ash or anything like that.
Oh, there goes my baker's spice, so I'm getting some of that. So now I got cedar and baker's spice.
Uh-oh. Somebody get him a napkin.
So our first topic today actually coincides with this cigar. Not this cigar specifically, but you finding it.
Right.
Trying new sticks. How do you do it? Brick and mortar, online, talking to a tobacconist. How'd you find this cigar?
So I was out of town, and I had a little bit of a gap between checking out of where I was staying and my flight. Mm-hmm. So I'm driving around, and I'm used to the area. It was actually in Omaha, Nebraska. I'm used to the area, so I was driving around, and I saw this new brick and mortar shop because I knew the area very well. I used to live in that specific area, and I said, well, looky here. We got a new cigar shop.
Yeah, nice.
All right, cool. So I pulled in, and walk in, and they have all this, like, new age stuff, like hookahs. And I'm like, what the heck?
Oh, yeah.
And the humidor was, like, 2 feet. It was smaller than a prison box, right? But it was a walk-in. Needless to say, it was probably 4 by 6, right? Maybe 60 boxes. And I'm looking around. I see all the usual suspects, things like that. And then I see this one box, and it literally stood out, and it was just in the corner. And I said, that's an interesting color on a box. Because, the color of it is actually, it's like, wow, that's an odd color for a cigar. For a wrapper, at least. And so I
Label. Yep.
Label, excuse me. And so I grabbed it, and I said, what's up with these things? He goes, oh, you haven't had one before? I was like, no. He said, well, nobody buys them because they don't know how good they are. Because
so something that I caught right away, this tobacconist knew, whoever he was. So even though it's a vape or whatever, a hookah shop, he knew the quality of this cigar.
He did. He did. And because I wondered why because I think there was 2 settings. There was 2 of these and then 2 of the Connecticut wrapper as well. And I'm like, dang, that's a lot of them. But to those that knew, purchase, right? So he schooled me quick. He's like, go ahead, grab a couple. I'll even throw you a discount, whatever. I also ended up getting a nub nuance. Hadn't had one of those because I'm not big into the flavor cigars, but I actually enjoyed that. I think it was the mocha, nub nuance mocha.
So the nuance that I like is the nub triple roast.
Okay, okay.
That's the only one I like.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Then I ran across the street, went to a place called Copacabana, and because I wanted to smoke it. It's like, whatever. I mean, I still have 2 hours before my flight. I'm going to smoke a stick. And went in, and an older gentleman was sitting at the bar there, and he goes, what do you know about that cigar, sir?
Someone else knew about the cigar?
It was an old guy, yeah, at the cigar lounge.
Okay.
He said, what do you know about that? I said, nothing, but apparently I need to find out because you're now number 2 on the day telling me what's up with this cigar, So I get a cut in the light. I snagged. Actually, he purchased me a Knob Creek.
Okay, so they served alcohol.
Yes.
All right. This was where? Virginia, you said?
Omaha, Nebraska.
Oh, Nebraska. That's right.
Yep. And, we get to chatting and talking. I'm smoking this cigar. I'm like, what the? I literally looked at the cigar, put it down, text Dan. I said, Dan, I found one. We need to smoke this ASAP. Went back and purchased 4 or 5 more. It's like, yeah, we got to have this in our lineup. And that's how I discovered this cigar.
All right. So is that typically how you do it? Something that catches your eye on the, you said the color.
Yeah.
You knew the brand or the maker.
The maker, right.
Did it show it on the box? I don't even remember how.
Like, at first it was just the name itself, not
Did the tobacconist let you know?
He did. Okay. He did. I mean, it is on there, like in small, but he just like, that's made by so and so, and I said, oh, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
And then when he rang me out, I saw the price. I was like, okay.
Oh, well, he disclosed a little something. It might be. Did that mean it was cheap or did that mean it was expensive?
Dun dun dun.
I don't know. Let's see.
But I generally it can be that or some. I do a lot of reading, and I follow a lot of different people, and you see kind of what some of the bigger guys are smoking because it's interesting. A lot of the bigger guys, some of them stick to what they make, and some of them smoke other people's, and it's their favorites, right? So I take a little bit of that plus my artistic mind, and I see things a little bit different than most people. And I blend them together, but I do particularly try new things from a brick and mortar.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I don't do a lot of online experimenting, if you will.
Gotcha.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, so you kind of save the online for, like, if I know I like this, I'm going to try to find some of these, catch them at a good deal type thing, da-da-da.
Yep.
All right, that's cool. Yeah, that makes sense. I was thinking about this question for myself because it's changed, right? Because now I own a shop.
Right.
So it's like I'm kind of hearing about things when they're getting announced, which is tough for me because cigars never come out on time. So I'll be anticipating a cigar, they'll say April 2025, and then
September
it's
rolls
like
around.
September, yeah.
It's like an old Jay-Z album, right?
Yeah. Oh, no, he was consistent 10 summers straight, bro. Don't even play.
Here we go. So I know what buttons to push on that gang.
Yeah. Big Jay-Z fan.
Yeah, huge. That's okay.
Yeah. So I get a lot of information from what's upcoming through email, through the manufacturers, through the companies that are selling these cigars. So I don't really do much online. Then actually social media. Social media.
Yeah.
A lot of cigar companies post their new cigars there and make them look hella nice.
They do.
Packaging is getting crazy.
It is.
Yeah, I just saw. I don't know if I sent it to you. I just saw the packaging for the Opus 25.
Dude.
What the hell?
Bro.
What is that?
That's in. I mean, what are we purchasing here? The cigar or? But you know what? You know what though? To your point, real quick. That is where society is going, though, right?
Yeah,
where it's no more the allure of the consistency or quality of the product, but how you can get them to that product.
First,
right?
Yes, absolutely. I think a company like Arturo Fuente, especially with their Opuses, I mean, that's kind of what they're known for, is their consistency with those, right?
And there's no question as to what an Opus X is, right?
Yeah, and talking to your point on the marketing aspect, the Opus has taken over every cigar as the affluent cigar, right?
Sure.
That's kind of like the one you hear people say, "You got any Opus? You got any Opus?" Or if you don't have any Opus, you're like, "I only smoke Opus,"
right?
This and that. So, but this packaging on this new one was like, it was royal. It was like, actually, kind of like our green. It's a common theme right now.
It is.
Our green. As a matter of fact, Karen Berger is dropping a new cigar.
I saw
which
that.
is going on PCA. That's where she's going to drop it, take pre-orders and stuff like that. But very common colors.
When I saw that color, and that's what attracted me to it. I was like, come on, Kate Berger.
Yeah.
Leave us alone. We're small fish.
Yeah. She watched episode 1 of the Blended Bond podcast.
Did.
She's like, I like those colors. I'm making it my new cigar.
It's mine now.
No, just kidding. She probably had that done
Years
trademark
ago.
a year ago and stuff like that.
Right.
Which is something I found out at the last PCA that I went to. Man, when you're naming stuff, you better put a trademark on it quick. Because someone else is doing it. Yep. Everyone's doing it. Yep. I went and saw one company that they had at PCA. The cigar was named this. I won't name it because, they got a cease and desist real quick from it. Wow. It was named this, and then when it came out, it was a different name, completely different name. And I was like, wait a minute.
Wow.
And they're like, yeah, we got hit with a cease and desist. This name was already taken, kind of held. And this is what the big companies are doing, right? Yep. They're thinking years ahead, futures. So they're trademarking stuff just in case.
Yep.
So then it was a collaboration company, 2 companies that came out with the cigar, and it had that name that the original cigar had. And I was like, oh, they're the ones that sent the cease and desist, So that was pretty cool.
Now, to go back to the point, you now have the shop, so your trials and things are through that mode. Prior to that, what was your, did you, because, me, we talked about this when we first met. I would literally drive around the state. I would take an hour or two, just find something within an hour or two, drive around, check the place out, see what they have, find new sticks or something that you can't find every day. What was your mode? Like, what?
Well, this one's easy. Before I owned the shop, every fucking thing was new to me. I smoked some sticks, but, everything that someone gave me was new.
Sure.
And, it wasn't until I, immersed myself into it and started blasting out cigars per day that I really started to taste everything, which, everything available to me, is so many cigars.
Yeah.
You can't even keep up when the amount they're coming out, right?
Yeah.
PCA is a little bit over a month and a half away, and you're going to see every single company, just about drop a cigar, at least the big ones.
Yeah.
But recently, and I knew about this cigar. I knew it was coming out. I just smoked the Ipicarillo Endure, which is wrapped in a Merapfel Cameroon wrapper, a very coveted wrapper, very, expensive wrapper, first of all, but it's super decadent. I was lucky enough to have it about a month before it was released. Shout out to Arturo from Prime Tobacconist for hooking me up with that cigar. And then
Arturo,
this past Wednesday, he had an Ipicarillo cigar dinner.
Yes.
And Prime Tobacconist cigar dinners are awesome.
Yep.
The vibe is awesome.
Yep.
The food is awesome. The setup is awesome.
The people.
It's really cool. The people are great. And, he had Endures, and then Ipicarillo is now 15 years old, so he put out his 15th anniversary.
Correct.
But they're very limited. They made about 5,000 boxes. 3,500 of them came to the U.S., 1,500 went overseas. I think Arturo was able to get 3 of them, so he had a limit on them. So I was able to purchase one. I think he might have more. If he has more, I'm coming for one. But I haven't smoked it yet because I bought one. So that's a thing, too. Like, if I got one, I'm like, I don't want to smoke it. 2, I would have smoked one, left one.
Yeah, and people used to make fun of me for that because, like, if I can only get one, I ain't smoking it. Well, how would you know what it tastes like? I guess I'll wait.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah, later on. But
one day, and that's when I opened my humidors, and I got slot drawered humidors, 2 of them, and it goes. There's probably about 10 slots in each. I swear to God, every time I'm grabbing a cigar from there, I open all 10 slots. I'm like, nope.
Yep.
Nope. Yep. And then until something smacks me in the face and says, smoke me.
Right.
Right. And it's really, really how it goes.
Yeah.
At this point. Even when I'm in the humidor at the lounge, I'm like, something hit me. Something hit me.
Yeah.
Because I smoked them all, right?
It gets overwhelming.
Yeah. It's a lot. And then, I want to keep. Actually, right now I'm experimenting with, because I've smoked everything, I was like, I want to smoke something I haven't in a while. And then there's some cigars that have been there for 3-6 months, so that might have changed a little bit on the flavor. Some of that. Actually, we used to smoke this. I put you onto it towards the end too. A company called Aroma de Nicaragua.
I still have one.
Yeah. So they have a Rainforest series. It was called.
Amazing cigar.
Has Ometepe tobacco in there. When we smoked that at PCA, this was me and Sergio, we loved it. As a matter of fact, he was like, order me a box. I was like, we ordered a bunch of boxes for the lounge. When I got them at the lounge, they were completely different to me. Yep. They were overly strong, overly bitter. Now, it could be as simple as this. What they had at PCA, they've had it for a while. They rolled it, they took it to PCA, it's been rested, whatever. They've had it for a little bit. Then you get all those PCA orders, and you're rushing to produce. Yeah. And hopefully, and the better companies don't rush it and put it out, young tobacco. And I don't think this was young tobacco. I just don't think it was rested enough or had enough age on it, or didn't have the same age from when I smoked it at PCA. So those kind of sat there for like a year.
Yeah.
And then I was like, let me give this thing a try. And once I did, I told Sergio, I was like, don't tell nobody. He told everybody.
What's funny about that?
Everybody.
Yeah, because it's what's funny is the first time I had one was at the Waterbury had the celebrating 50 years of hip hop.
Okay.
And I was like, I've had one of these before, and then I lit it up, and I'm a big cedar fan, and it was a cedar bomb in the beginning, which was fine. But the way it developed, I'm like, this is a really good cigar. So I bought a couple, and I've had them in my humidor, and then you told me 3-4 months ago, dude, you got to try one now. I'm like, all right, and I smoked it, and I said,
yep.
Swipe. Took all of them.
Took a bunch.
I took them all.
Yep.
There's no more.
Sergio did that. I think Charles did that.
Yeah.
Joe was put on.
Yep.
Yeah. The cat was out of the bag.
Sure was.
Not even gonna get to smoke any.
Like that Nino.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Stallone Nino.
Oh man.
Shout out to that cigar. Rest in peace, because they're probably all gone. That was a very limited release. So Stallone makes great cigars. I love Stallone cigars. I like the Clydesdale. Their broadleaf is good. Their Maduro's good. Their Habano and the Robusto, box press Robusto, which was the 2020 Cigar of the Year for Stogie Press magazine. So that was a really good one. You actually haven't smoked that one yet, right? Because you said you looked at it, didn't catch your eye, and you went with the broadleaf and the Maduro.
Yes. Yes. Yep. Yes. And the Maduro, that's a cigar, bro.
Yeah, I like it. Very good.
That's a cigar. Like,
I'm pretty sure that's a San Andreas. Let me double check that.
Yeah. I wasn't surprised based on who they are. But definitely getting through that cigar, and it was like number 3 on the day.
I was wrong. Yeah. It's not a San Andreas Maduro. No wonder you like it. It's a Nicaraguan puro.
See?
Mm-hmm.
This guy. No, that's one of my favorite blends is when it's Nicaragua. Like it just, there can't be enough, right? Mm-hmm. But it was like the 3rd on the day. Might have had a glass or 7. And I hate to admit this, but I got to the final 3rd and I had to let her go.
Yeah. Strong?
Very strong.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, that's the other part of the Nicaraguan.
Yeah.
Nicaraguan cubed.
Right. It's an uppercut.
Yeah. So, let's do a little check-in.
Yeah.
'Cause you're probably on your last third. I mean, finishing your first third. Or getting into just about there. Hey.
Oh, you're beating me today. Look at that.
No, I'm not. I think you're good.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And I lit before you.
You sure did.
Well,
look at that.
What do you think so far?
Not surprised.
Yeah?
I am not surprised. The construction is great.
Burning well.
Drawing
perfectly.
Yeah, the line is pretty. It's not razor sharp, but it's definitely a bread cutter, right?
Yeah.
But the flavors, the cedar has calmed down quite a bit.
I actually think the cedar is nice and strong right now.
Do you?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
There goes those pallets again, right?
Yeah.
But I am getting more of the baker spice, especially on the retro.
Definitely baker spice on the retro.
Yeah.
Little sweetness, I think.
That was my next one.
Mm-hmm.
And then that natural tobacco flavor. You know, it's not a harsh natural tobacco. You know, sometimes they'd be a little like, all right, but it's very smooth. It's very palatable. I'm looking for more out of it.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah. To me right now, they're super subtle flavors, but I can taste everything right now. It definitely tastes cedary to me. It's creamy. It's spicy. And I'm picking up cocoa laying through as well, like faintly in the background there on the draws.
Yeah.
Before you retro and get the spice. Yeah. So far, so good. And don't worry, we're going to reveal what the cigar is by the end of the podcast.
Guys.
And also, might I add, if you were at the dinner this Thursday night and there was 50 of you there, this was the mystery cigar in your bag. So stay tuned. I told you I would let you guys know what it was. We're going to talk more about that dinner later.
Yes.
Because that was a great time. But let's move on to topic number 2.
Yes.
Cigar storage. What and where are you storing your cigars? What kind of humidification system you using? And yeah.
So I have 2 Tupperdoors, a 3-drawer
Tupperdoors,
Spanish cedar box, and I have now a desktop. My head count right now is roughly 160-ish.
Oh, wow.
Between the all the different entrapments and things like that. I am a big Boveda guy. I did have a little dryness this winter, but Dan here helped me out with that. I got things back on track. I just emptied everything out, overstuffed the Tupperdoors, and reseasoned, if you will. And everything's back to good. But I had to up because I'm a 68 guy, right? But I did up to 72. But I'm maintaining between 68 and 71, which is fine, because it is such a dry and cold winter. But yeah, that's my. I don't do electric humidification. I don't do the gel beads. I don't do any of that stuff. I kind of keep it basic, and the one thing I had to learn was to not overstuff, which is it looks cool when it's overstuffed, right? But it doesn't do your sticks any good.
Yeah, airflow. Need airflow.
Yeah, big time. But yeah, I'm definitely a analog humidifier.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. But honestly, I prefer the boxes over the Tupperdoors. I just like how they rest and develop, because there is a constant airflow versus the air being trapped on its own. But that's just my personal reference.
Yeah. So Tupperdoor, if you're not familiar, he's basically just taking a Tupperware container that's airtight, throwing some Bovedas in there, throwing the cigars in there, and sealing that.
Yep.
It's a great way to store your cigars if you don't want to buy a humidor. Because it is airtight, the humidity stays in there and holds pretty well. You won't get you got to picture Tupperware's plastic. Tupperware is plastic. Humidity moves as fast as air moves, pretty much, right? So as soon as you open one of these, there's no wood or cedar to keep moisture there. So it's going to be the cigars that have that moisture in your Boveda pack. So every time you open it, air goes out, you got to close it up. So don't leave them open too long because, like I said, there's nothing in there to absorb moisture other than the cigars.
I did develop a hack, though.
Yeah?
I took the separators from the drawers
Yep.
and put them in the Tupperdoors because I was getting better results with those in the Tupperdoors than out. Because I just had them stored somewhere before, and I was like, what can I use these for? And I'm like, well, duh, they hold humidity. So I put them in there, and it's a gain. It's a total. So if for those who might like Tupperdoors, just go online and buy some of the separators. They sell them online, $8 maybe.
Yeah, and if you got a lot of cigars, you can buy a big Tupperware container, right?
Yeah.
So my friend Henry is like his humidor. He does have a full humidor, but he's got literally totes, multiple totes. And then what he bought was the cedar trays from like Amazon.
Yep.
So he has this thing laid out on there, boom, 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 so he can move them out quick, take by tray by tray.
Absolutely.
So it is a good method. If you don't want to go and buy a big humidor, it's cheaper to buy like a Tupperware container and go from there. I myself, I mentioned, I got a couple humidors that have drawers, right? And I can lay the sticks out there. The humidity's at the bottom. I have two of those in each of them, two of those little tins with the green foam in there. And I use propylene glycol in there, especially in the winter. I feel like the distilled water just goes too fast.
Sure.
It's at I think it's like a 70% relative humidity to liquid. You can buy them right on Amazon. You could pick your humidity and go right from there. I love it. I have a chest humidor.
Ooh.
And that one seals really good. And I actually have a cup of distilled water in that one.
Okay.
A little cup, and that one's good because I use propylene glycol, but for some reason I couldn't. It was always high for me. So the distilled water is okay in there.
Sure.
Then I have totes. I got boxes of cigars.
This guy.
Make sure those totes have a gasket and the ones that clip close so that it's nice and airtight. And in there I got the beads. And then I monitor all of them with Govee hygrometers.
Yeah.
So you could buy a 6-pack online. I put them in each one. It comes with an app. It's connected. You got a little Wi-Fi receiver that you plug into your wall, and they all connect to your phone, and it'll tell you the humidity of all of them, And that's a good way without having to open and check it
Right.
and lose more humidity.
Right.
You always know where it's at. And what's really cool with Govee is you can set limits, right? Or just alerts. If it drops below 55, it'll beep. If the temperature goes up high this, it'll beep. So it's a good way to manage, because cigars, you don't want to be in a situation where it's like, oh shit, my humidor's at 40. It might have been there for 3 days, and then I got to go bring it back up. Because the more fluctuation in the humidity of your cigar, the more those oils are going to dissipate. And as we talk about flavor of cigars, the flavors come from the oils inside the leaf burning and giving you those notes and stuff like that.
Sure.
So we want to be able to keep that, consistent humidity, right? And especially if you're trying to age cigars for a long time, if it's fluctuating, you're not going to get that best cigar. It's probably going to taste very airy and light because just all those oils dissipated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guess I never thought of it from that perspective. Because I do have an aging drawer in my humidor, which you've seen. I'm like, nope, can't go in there, Dan. Any other drawer you can pick out of, but don't touch that one. But I've contemplated doing a aging just desktop on its own, right? Literally, never open it.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I want to start getting to the point where I get some of these things that these very wonderful budget sticks, mixed in with some high-end stuff, and just kind of let them all hang out for 24 months, 36 months, and just see what happens, especially like if we're in a group setting, or, you and I, like, hey, guess what? This one's from 2 years ago, which we've had some of those in my box. But I definitely want to get more into the aging.
Yeah. Okay.
For sure.
I like to do that with some things. And then, for instance, I have some Night Commanders and some Senators from Foundation resting.
Okay.
And I told Eduardo, who's the national sales manager for Foundation Cigars, that I was aging them. And he's like, oh, no, man. Those are ready to go. Smoke those. Especially the Senator. He's like, it's already like medium bodied. You age that longer, it's just going to be, very light, mild,
really?
Right? And then the broadleaf, the Night Commander, is already aged 3 years. Okay. So I think even more than that. Yeah. So he's like, those are ready to go. Yeah. I was like, okay, well, I appreciate that. That's awesome.
I guess I could see a problem with that, right? If
yeah.
It's already ready to go, what are you doing?
And they say most cigars are that way.
Yeah.
Now, I kind of disagree because I've had some cigars. Well, I don't disagree with what they're saying.
Sure.
I disagree for me because just some cigars, it's like, man, this little bite I don't like. Maybe if I age it, which
I wonder what happens in
that
6
aroma
months.
that Nicaragua did
right.
that. Yeah. That strong bitterness, it was right away.
Right.
And then that kind of smoothed out as it aged, which was pretty awesome.
I got to give an update, though. I'm having a moment here. I've walked into this milk chocolate, kind of like a milk chocolate like coffee, but a medium roast coffee because it's got that back end floral added to it there.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. And it's a moment because I was like, it was a very pleasant change. And then on the retro, I would say maybe like a chili powder versus a red pepper or anything, but a very faint pepperish type back end on the retro, mixed with the floral, and then the coffee and the milk chocolate. It was a very, very nice couple puffs there. I was listening to you talk, but I was in a whole nother world.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that. That's fine. The white or red or whatever.
It's hard to put
it's
really
a blended pepper there. Is picked up. It's got a nice little tickle on the nose. Still not like a burning pepper, which is kind of, for me, not my favorite thing because I love to retrohale so much.
Me too.
So when it's like overly peppery and tickling my sinuses,
Past the tissues.
I'm like, damn. Sometimes it like burns.
I know,
You
right.
Some of these.
Like, you okay? I'm fine. Cigars beat me up, but I'm fine.
There's some real pros out there like,
Right.
burn. What are you talking about? You know.
They also haven't tasted a cigar in 12 years.
So real quick, I just had a quick moment on just a little bit of a tasting of the palate. And I had just taken a sip of my coffee. And this is a hazelnut coffee, cream and sugar, milk and sugar, actually. And then I took a puff, right? And I still had that coating of the milk and sugar in my mouth. And it gave me like this dulce de leche caramel flavor that was pretty awesome right there. So, blending and bonding, that bond between that coffee and this cigar at that moment gave me a beautiful dulce de leche caramel style flavor.
Nice. Yeah, I take my coffee like myself, strong and black. Which I definitely appreciate I'm a bitter guy, right? I like bitters. I like, Guinness, one of my favorites, the aroma.
Consider Guinness bitter?
Ish.
Huh.
Most people do.
Yeah. Okay.
I
never
don't.
looked at it that way.
Yeah, I don't.
I think it's so smooth.
It is very smooth. Very smooth. I like IPAs, chewy IPAs.
That's what I would consider bitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of along my flavor profile, and I like the peppers too. I'm big on the peppers. Definitely big on like the chocolate and the cocos and the nuances with the floral. I remember one time we had that nightshade, and we were just getting a floral bomb out of that thing. But it was very enjoyable because it's so different. It's almost like, it's one of those deals where you're looking at like, wow, how does this big, rich, nasty cigar give me this light, dainty, lovely flavor, and everything else has kind of been like, brr, brr, and then this little girl dances by in her dress. It's like, oh, that was in there too. Okay.
That's awesome. Hey, real quick, let's go to our next topic. We just described pretty much going into the second third for yourself, right? How are we looking? Snap, I took the lead, which never happens.
That does not happen. No. I'm slacking on my pimping.
No, I think I adjusted mine to keep up with you.
Well,
but
and I took your advice.
Also, yeah, and okay, you're going to say that.
Yep.
But also, this happens to me every once in a while. When I really like the flavor of a cigar, man, I want more of it.
Yeah.
And right now I'm puffing the hell out of this thing.
Yeah, because you don't want it to go away.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, what was the advice I gave you? Don't listen to my advice.
Slow down, Zeke.
Slow down, Zeke.
You're missing so many flavor notes by heating up the cigar from puffing it too fast. I said, whatever, Dan. So
he's right.
And he was, because then the next morning I was in the shanty, and I was smoking a hot cake.
Oh,
yeah,
HVC hot cake.
Yeah, and as robusto as that thing was, it was a 2-hour smoke. Didn't relight it one time, and I had my poker out, and I'm like burning my lip because I was able to absorb every single compound that it had to offer. And I was like, all right, Dan, whatever, you got me on this one. Dan won, Z0, but I'll get him back. Yeah. So thank you.
Yeah, no problem, man. No problem. Next thing I wanted to talk about, Zeke, is there's a lot of ways to light the cigar. A lot of tools.
Yeah.
Soft flame.
Yep.
Matches. Cedar splits. Torches.
Yeah.
1-jet torch, 2-jet torch, 3-jet torch,
right.
Quad-jet torches,
Right. Car engines, whatever you find.
The stove. You know, there's so many ways.
Right.
And I know the answer to this, but take me through. What do you typically like?
I have torches.
Mm-hmm.
I have used the soft flame before.
Mm-hmm.
Not a fan.
Yeah.
But if I'm smoking something like that Farrell I had last week, I actually, because I keep the cedar pieces in my office, and I'll use that because I know what I'm getting out of that cigar already, and so I'm kind of playing around with the light up to absorb, just to really define that smoke, right? Using the cedar plank and lighting it up and just getting that nice rich cedar bomb with the mixture of what I already knew was going to be there. But I'm a torch guy.
Yeah.
Definitely, I'm a quad torch. I can heat up, a bolt with this thing. Actually, funny story. I use this to loosen up a fitting on my washing machine.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was on. I mean, I'm trying to crank this thing. It worked on one. I actually had to saw the other one off because they had been attached since they built the house, I guess. But yeah, that's my baby right there.
Yeah, that's your baby. And if I'm not mistaken, that was what, a $12, $15 cigar or lighter or something like that.
$12.
Yeah.
That's why I bought you one.
Yeah, which is really interesting.
Oh, wow.
Because there's so many different types of lighters and price points. And you can be at a, cigar shop and just grab one of the ones behind the counter.
Yeah.
That costs you $6,
Yeah.
$7, $8, $9, $10, $11, $12, whatever it may be.
Yep.
Then you got Colibris, Palio, what else? Name another one. What am I missing? Colibri, Zycar. There you go.
That's the one I was looking for. Yeah, Zycar, yeah.
And these come at a little more premium prices. They definitely look better.
Yeah.
They definitely got the weight behind it.
Right.
I lose things, man. I don't like buying the expensive ones. And you know what's crazy? Right now I use this one. This was a gift from a friend, Larry Parasino. Shout out to you. He knows I love Liga Privada number 9. This is a Liga Privada number 9 lighter. Drew Estate, Rebirth of Cigars. This thing is a weapon.
It is.
I don't ever forget this because it's so large and so heavy. I know what's in it when it's in my pocket. I like it because it has a big tank because I do smoke a lot of cigars. So I hate having a small lighter that I have to fill up a lot.
Yeah. 3-4 times a week.
I'm typically a 2-jet guy.
Okay.
Now this one's a 3, right?
Okay.
And Zeke didn't fill me up today, but no. But it has a big tank, so the 3 flames is great.
Yeah.
Now it did have a flip out here that had 2 size punches, a small punch and a large punch.
It looks like you broke it.
Yeah, I broke it, but I don't use punches, so it's not that big of a deal to me.
That's just his excuse, but that's
yeah, yeah. Soft flame. I was at the cigar dinner on Thursday, and I watched someone soft flame their cigar, and
did a piece of you just die?
You know what? I kind of, in a way, I had a little twitch in the eye because I just don't do it. But I appreciated that he did.
Right.
That he took the time and he was patient enough to do that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, matches, I'll do that every once in a while.
Yeah.
Actually, I lied. I'll do that when I can't find a lighter.
Yeah.
I'll use the match.
Fair enough.
I'll crack and use the match.
Yeah.
I think torches are just the best these days, right? Especially if you get a good butane, something that's 99.9% pure, with, without imposing any flavor on it. And if you're lighting it right, like we talked about, away from the flame, of the color of the flame, and toast it up nicely, you're not going to get that anyway. And 99% of the population is not going to taste the butane, whatever flavor butane is going to impose into the cigar.
Yeah, anyway. They don't know any better.
Yeah. There's very few. Now,
and that's okay.
Now, the opposite, though, if you're one of those guys where it puts this flame right on there and it's charring it, and you're gonna get all that flavor.
Yeah.
You know, so
Oh, yeah.
you got to also be conscious of how you use your torch.
Yep.
We used to have at the lounge these ones that I just always know them as like creme brulee
Yeah.
burners.
Yeah.
That thing's like, serious torch. You could weld with that thing.
You sure could.
And you'd have to hold that thing out here.
Right.
Right.
And then hit the guy next to you like, whoa, bro.
Yeah. And for some reason, those always for a good 3-4 weeks, especially in high use, the thing is really good. You can use the gauge to minus or make the flame stronger.
Yep.
But after 4 weeks, that thing was a complete guess.
Sure.
That thing was doing whatever it wants.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like shoot out flames.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, we're gonna X these out of the lounge before we get
a
have
lawsuit.
a problem. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I do remember one time using that thing, and I almost took my eyebrows out because I didn't expect it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just, whoa,
Yeah.
okay. All right, won't use that again.
Yeah, that's kind of why I X those out of the lounge. We're like, we're going to go something. Now we got like a single flame.
Yeah.
Cover all our bases here.
Right.
But some people hate those. I love those. It's got that nice pointed flame.
Yeah.
And I'm just watching that thing go around the foot of the cigar, lighting it up, getting nice and orange.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as I see it, one click, and we're good to go.
Yep. It's funny you say that. Shout out Anthony Maz and his buddy there at Holtz Cigar in Philly. I can't think of his friend's name there, but he does that. When he toasts, he's a very in sync toaster. With that single flame. And he's very intricate. If you ever watch him, he's a very intricate guy. But I've started to break that down a little more, right? Mm-hmm. Starting to see different things and how and it's almost like he's getting that wrapper and then he's lighting the tobacco on the interior.
Which is a really good point to make. And that's actually exactly how you want to do it.
Yeah.
So remember, it's wrapper, binder, filler.
Yeah.
Now the filler there is for some flavor, but it's mostly for combustion. But the wrapper and binder burn a little slower, right?
Yep.
So you want to actually light that up where you're almost fusing that binder to that wrapper and getting that toasted up first, because the filler's going to light. The filler's going to combust.
Yep.
But you want that wrapper and binder already going, right? If you ever seen someone that starts from the middle and lights their cigar and they got that cherry, the filler's already going, but you can tell their binder and wrapper didn't light up.
Yep.
Now you're getting an uneven smoke.
Yep.
And they're like, what's wrong with this cigar?
Hate to tell you.
Yeah. Yep. Well, this thing's burning on one side. I was like, because that's the only side you lit.
Right. Why is it coning? Well, a couple reasons there, tough guy.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Zeke.
Yes.
Wednesday night.
Yes.
You went to, was it your first? Prime?
That was the first.
Yep.
Kind of like industry deal. Like everybody coming together and.
So, Wednesday night we went to Prime Tobacconist in Milford, Connecticut, owned by John and Arturo, and he had an Ipicadillo dinner with catering by Lobo Reyes. Raul, shout out to him. Makes phenomenal food.
Absolutely.
Hit him up. What'd you think?
You see videos and stuff all the time, different, like Perdomo will have one or someone else. I was excited about this one, not just for Arturo with his experience, his past experience and things like that, but because of the indoor. Mm-hmm. I've been seeing so much about it. I'm just like, dude, I can't wait. And I know it's one of those cigars you're not gonna get online. Unless you're waiting for the clock to drop 12:01, finger on trigger type. It's not gonna happen. But I enjoy those. Those meetings of the masses are amazing. You meet a lot of very intricate people, and sitting with Arturo and his vast knowledge of the company, the blends, how they even came about. It's for me and my growth and development with cigars. It was an amazing night.
Yeah.
I'm thankful for all of it because it teaches me a lot. I'm meeting new people. Definitely trying cigars I wouldn't normally try. The Sumatra, I was very surprised by that cigar.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I was very, very surprised because I'm not a big Sumatra guy.
Mm-hmm.
But I was very, very surprised by that cigar. But I had a great time, and definitely looking forward to doing that again.
Yeah, for sure. So I was super excited. Everyone knows that. I blasted that text message to everyone. I was like, yo, you guys got to come to this. Trust me, you're going to want this cigar. It's phenomenal. I smoked it a few weeks ago, and it didn't disappoint. He included some cigars. He included a EP Carrillo Pledge. He included the EP Carrillo Sumatra. And then I think we got, what was the third cigar? Allegiance? Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Bianca in our crowd was pumping her, raising the roof.
She just did a backflip, guys.
Because it's her favorite cigar. And now what was really cool about that night with that cigar, because she received the cigar, and she go, oh, yay, it's my favorite cigar.
Right.
And not even 10 seconds later, they're doing a raffle.
Right.
And it's for an EP Carrillo Allegiance ashtray. And
that matches the cigar.
And she burst out like, oh, that's, it's my favorite cigar. That's me! And pulls the number, pulls the number for the thing.
Yeah.
And it's her number.
Right.
It's her number right away. It was like, what? It was like, you couldn't have written that better.
And I looked over at Dan and I said, how much did you pay for that? But it was the timing was epic because she was like, I want to win something, just pouting in the corner. I want to win something, Joe. And there, lo and behold, here comes her ticket. So, like she said, she spoke it into the universe, and God bless her for it. I'm gonna drop that ashtray and chip the corner, just a little piece.
I think she's gonna chip a corner of you for mimicking her voice in such a way. I don't know if she'll agree.
That was an actual recording.
She sounds like.
That was an actual recording. Sorry.
Now, on Thursday, we had another cigar dinner. You weren't aware, or you weren't
I wasn't able to make
in attendance on this one. Now, that was our B&B, Blend and Bond.
Yep.
First cigar dinner.
Event, yes.
Our quote-unquote soft launch.
Yes.
And we did this at the well-respected, well-esteemed, the Hartford Club in Hartford, Connecticut.
Yes.
Which was established in the
12.
same year that your grandma's basement was.
Right, 12.
1873.
Yeah.
Yeah. This place has been around that long.
Yeah.
It's a gem out there.
Absolutely.
You could just feel the age of the place.
Sure.
I mean, this place has had members like J.P. Morgan, Mark Twain, things like that.
Yeah. And
we do this dinner. Shout out to David Charron, who's runs the cigar club there. We hooked up and made this happen. And I think they were anticipating about 25 to 30 people at first. And they told me they average about 12 to 15 for their February dinner. 3 days before I check in, they're like, we're at like 34.
Tell them, Dan.
Yeah.
Get them, Dan.
And I'm like, they're like, we'll probably top out at 40. I was like, okay. We get there the day of, the number's 50. I was like, oh, man.
Come on.
And I'm doing this was a cigar dinner, but it was a cigar education dinner.
Yes.
All right. So we got these tables set up, and we'll put pictures on our social media and stuff like that in a big U, and I'm inside the middle of that thing. Dave Taft and Bianca are manning the cigar table and giving everyone their cigars that came with their dinner, and then also offering other cigars that we had, right? And it was incredible.
It was.
It was such an incredible experience where you had all these people, and I'm talking people that smoke cigars, 30-year, 40-year cigar smokers.
Yep.
And they're loving it.
Yeah.
They're loving the education of it. It was something that everyone said was they had not received before.
Yeah.
Now and there was a few newer smokers there too, Look at that. The audience is growing.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Get that man a cigar.
Yeah, somebody. My box is behind me.
So, there was a few people that were newer smokers.
Yep.
There were a few people that dabbled in cigar smoking, but kind of were regulars, if you will,
Sure.
1 to 2, maybe 4 a year, something like that.
Sure.
And we just talked about everything.
Yeah.
From picking your cigar, different leaves, the flavor, lighting, putting your cigar out, all sorts of education. We went into a little history of Connecticut Valley tobacco and how far back that goes.
Yep.
Because, you think Nicaragua, you think Dominican Republic, you think Honduras, Cuba, all these countries, but those are all on the equator line.
Sure.
Right?
Yep.
They have a common thing.
Yep.
That tobacco grows along that. There's this crazy outlier of Connecticut up in this northeast with this short growing season.
Yep.
That you can get some of the best tobacco in the world.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's all why? Because once upon a time, there was an ice age.
Right.
And the Connecticut River was extremely vast.
Yeah. Yep.
And then that river receded to what it is today.
Which is still pretty big.
But all along the valley, it left this loamy soil and this clay underneath that was just happened to be perfect for tobacco and giving us great flavor.
Yeah.
All right. And shout out to Lydia Borgio as well, the GM at the Hartford Club, for having us and helping us out and making that an incredible event. We are getting to the point of the last third of this cigar.
Yeah. Now, right before we get there, though, if you don't mind,
Yeah.
I do want to say that there's a finishing point to the last one. When I received the photos and the videos, I was quite emotional. I'm not even going to lie.
Yeah.
You did a hell of a job.
I appreciate that.
So my hat off to you for being able to do that. I've been in that circle. It's not an easy job. For those of you who know anything about public speaking, when you try to capture an audience of 10, it's difficult, let alone 50, especially when they have the opportunity to drink and eat and smoke a cigar. You can get a lot. But kudos to you for holding it down. I did miss out. Definitely, we've been doing a lot, back and forth and work.
All good. That's exactly why we have this all-star team.
Absolutely.
When someone's not there, other people step up.
Yeah.
And you know what? Speaking on that part, I felt those emotions too.
Yeah.
This was like actually one of the first times I've ever had to public speak like that.
Sure.
And when they called my name up, I knew I was going to kill it because I didn't have a nerve in me.
That's what happens.
I just went and flowed, and it felt good, and people were happy and interactive, and I saw people engaged, and I had expressed my background and my title as a certified cigar sommelier, tobacconist. Hey, nailed it.
The CSVTX times 2.
And the feedback was amazing. Feedback was amazing. That was the best part. And then, actually, the best part was this. So, I go and I'm a hardcore toaster of the cigar. I talk about that emphatically. Take your time through your whole process. This is no rush. And then when we're done and everyone's moving on to the next step, we've had dessert, everyone's moving to the cigar room or the billiard room and things like that. I'm watching people toast their cigars and light them up that way. Yeah. And I was like, wow, it teachable, and then turned right into, using it in motion, and everyone's rocking with it. We had a lot of good questions there. I heard that there was this guy trying to trip me up. It was a good gentleman.
Sure.
But I think he gets kicks out of trying to trip people up, from what I heard, as far as presenters in there. And I nailed his question, without even thinking about it.
Nice.
And some guys at the end told me, I was like, he was trying to get you, but you went and flowed. He's like, you won at that point. You won, And like I said, this place is a phenomenal facility. It's the history in there. You can just feel it. They have a lot of, what do you call them? Deer heads.
Oh, yeah.
Trophies, mounts.
Yeah, mounts, yeah.
You know, busts. No, not a bust. But moose and warthog and deer and just, you know, giant picture of Mark Twain sitting on his porch on a rocking chair smoking a cigar.
Wow.
It is incredible.
Sure.
And we have been invited back. We have actually been invited to do the podcast there live.
Wow.
Which we can do.
Let's go.
And like I said, everyone had received this cigar.
Yeah.
And we're just about into the last third, almost there, right?
Yep.
Oh, no.
Here and there.
Baker spice taking a back seat to more pepper right now.
Mm-hmm.
Earth still there.
Yep.
I still get cocoa. I will say it's burning phenomenally. It's drawing phenomenally. But this coffee that I sipped with it increased everything tenfold.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
So now I'm smoking it without it, and I'm like, I want more of that.
Yeah.
I want more of that.
Yeah.
And it's funny because you say you take your coffee strong and black. I am so all over the place with everything that, and this should sum it up for you, for how my brain works. The only place I get my coffee consistently that'll be the same is if I go to Dunkin' Donuts, this is what I'm getting, the hazelnut, milk, and sugar.
Sure.
Now, anywhere else, it's depending on how I feel.
Sure.
I might take an espresso.
Okay.
I might take my coffee black. I might take it black with 1 sugar.
Okay.
I might take it black with 2 sugars.
Okay.
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know what's wrong with me.
It's a mood.
I can't do the same thing all the time.
Sure.
You know? So, Luis, when then you want a coffee? And he'll be like, how do you want it today? You know? Because sometimes I like just 1 sugar.
Yeah.
And then the next day he'll bring me the coffee with 1 sugar. And I was like, what'd you put? He's like, 1 sugar. I was like, I feel like another one.
Make it
Like,
2.
what the hell?
Yeah. Right.
I know.
Shout out, Luis.
I know. I'm difficult. You know? So I think it's time to reveal the cigar. You know? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people smoking it here. We had 50 smoking it at the Hartford Club.
Yes.
I sold one gentleman, and I couldn't say no to him. This guy was a beautiful, probably almost 80-year-old, tall black man with a bow tie. And he's like, come here, young man. This is a really good cigar. I was like, I know. He's like, what is it? I was like, I was like, you got to watch the podcast to reveal. And then he's like, what is it? I'm like, all right, sir.
Right. I don't want to ruffle your feathers here.
It's this.
Right.
And he's like, sell me 2. I was like, okay. And then I give him the price.
Yeah.
And he was like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I was like, for 2?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. The price of this cigar, through all the vitolas, from Robusto to, I believe they make a Churchill as well.
Yep.
Let me just make sure. Well, I know they make a Robusto and a Toro.
And a Toro for sure, yep.
It goes from $6 to $7 MSRP. We're talking a very inexpensive cigar here, considering, how cigars are these days.
Correct.
And can we get a drum roll? Today we're smoking the Rocky Patel Corojo Catch 22.
Yes.
What?
Right.
You know?
Right.
What?
Right.
And we didn't know about it. It's come out. It's been out for a few years, multiple years actually.
Yep.
A while, but you don't see it that often, and you don't hear people talk about it too often.
Nope. In all my years, I mean, like, let's think about it. You have a lounge. You have access to these things. You have a list, right? Never came across it.
Yeah. So feel free to look for these. Blendandbond.co. We have them on there. And you're going to be pleasantly surprised by this $7 cigar. And this is why Blend and Bond is doing mystery cigars. Because sometimes you look in that humidor and you see a $7 cigar, and you're like, I'm not even, you know?
Right. I'll light it up when I go cut the grass.
Yeah. I want a good cigar, quote unquote.
Right.
I want to spend 12,
right.
13,
right.
you know? But this thing is, I mean, we haven't needed to touch it up. Didn't need to relight. Actually, lie. We relit because we had some technical difficulties and we had to stop the cause and the cigar shut off. But we lit that right back up.
Right.
One puff. Other than that, this thing's been burning great, tastes great. The draw is phenomenal. We're getting to that last third, into the last third right now.
Yes.
Very smooth cigar. Very flavorful. You would think something like this is more just, just airy tobacco light when you think about the pricing. But this $7 cigar is extremely favorable.
Very much so.
And it changed, which I love. And it never the flavors are dancing well together. Mm-hmm. It's not like all just a mess. And you're talking what did we say, six tobacco blend, 7 tobacco blend, It's a Corojo wrapper,
tornado of a cigar.
Double binder of Nicaraguan tobacco and Sumatra, and a 4-country filler, Dominican, Honduran, Mexican, Nicaraguan. Mm-hmm. Try this cigar out. It's a good one. Absolutely. And if you're feeling like bonding it with something good or blending it with something good, try a hazelnut coffee with cream and sugar, and that hazelnut and the nuttiness from the cigar and that slight sweetness from the cigar and slight sweetness from the coffee gave me a great like caramel, like I explained. So, that's our first mystery cigar.
Yeah.
And then this is super cool that we're getting to do this. Our goal is to be doing this with an online community.
Yes.
Live studio audience. Hopefully once we get there, when we're selling these via subscription, we want a live online community for a live podcast. Yes. Right now we're shooting on Saturday. This thing will be up Monday for us, ready to rock. And that's pretty much all I got for today, Zeke. Anything else?
No. Don't forget to find us at blendandbond.co.co. That's blendandbond.co. Instagram as well.
Facebook, TikTok.
You name it.
The only one that's different is YouTube. It's blendandbond.company.
Correct.
Yep.
Company, yep.
But it'll pop up. You'll see that logo. If you go onto our social media, link tree right there. We'll put up a QR code at the end of this podcast so that you could just scan that and go to everything that we have.
Yeah.
We appreciate you watching. We can't wait to do more of these. This is number 2 in the books.
Yes.
What do you got planned for today?
Not too much.
No? Any more cigars in the day today? Really?
Yeah.
Nice,
definitely got a couple lined up that I want to smoke.
Yeah.
Enjoy. We can't do this without you guys. Let's just make that clear. Don't forget to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. When you see us on YouTube, like, subscribe, comment, please, and thank you. From the bottom of our hearts, we appreciate it. Even if it's something, not always positive, leave it there. We can only get better with your feedback. So feedback is necessary, much needed, much appreciated. With that, I'm Zeke, the token black guy. And
that's not true.
And this is Dan Mina.
There's actually more black people in this company than not.
That's true.
The token is the white guy.
Yeah, right. Where's he at, by the way? He's out here. He's token somewhere. But thanks to you all. I appreciate you. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you. I'm Dan Mina. Catch you soon.